Okay, so when I was in London, I went to the Black Cultural Archives, which is an archive about Black history in London, right? At the archive, they had an exhibit on Lewis Latimer. If you don't know who Lewis Latimer is, he is the person who invented the carbon filament. Thomas Edison gets all the credit for inventing the light bulb, but like Lewis Latimer also was a part of that whole experience, that whole process, right? So, first of all, Lewis Latimer was born in Chelsea, Massachusetts. Didn't know that. His parents, I think one of his parents was a fugitive, enslaved person, ran away, they went up to the north. So fast forward, he ends up working for this light company. He invents the carbon filament. So him and the creator of this light company collab, and they patent this light invention together. Then this company ends up joining forces with a company out in London. Lewis Latimer ends up in London to train all the workers on how to create this carbon filament. What ends up happening is there is a street. This is essential to the story. There is a street by a certain name. I don't remember the name. The issue that was happening on the street was that if one light went out, all the lights would go out. And so with his invention, they were able to make it so that if one light went out, the rest of the lights wouldn't be affected by it. They ended up changing the name of the street to Electric Avenue. Remember that. So cool. I'm at the archive. I'm like, oh, okay, learning this new information about him. He was also a poet and wrote this really sweet poem to his wife about being like, it was called Ebon Venus, about being like how she's the flyest. Like, fuck these white women, you're beautiful and you're black and I love you. And it was really dope. But anyway, that's a sidebar. Electric Avenue. They changed the name of the street to Electric Avenue to honor this change, right? In this place, Electric Avenue was like a marketplace for Brixton. Cool. Then I leave the archive. I go to a restaurant called Fish, Wings, and Tings. I get there. They're playing I Like What You're Doing to Me by Young and Company. So the fact that they're playing this song for me was like a good omen, because like that's one of my jams. I go, I order my food. They're playing all these disco songs, like 80s R&B, like love it. They play this song I Love to Truck, something like that, by Eddy Grant. And I hear the song and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I Shazam the song. When I Shazam the song, other Eddy Grant songs come up. What's at the top of the list? Electric Avenue. And I say to myself, oh my God, I just learned about the history of Electric Avenue and now this is popping up. Then after that song's playing, they play Electric Avenue by Eddy Grant. And when they play it, I'm like, oh, I know this song. Like, I've heard this song before. And you probably have too. But when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, I've heard this song before. Like, what? And that's really the story. I was just like, what are the odds that I learned the history of Electric Avenue, then to find out that, like, there's a song about it. The thing about the song, though, is, like, it's kind of a protest song. Like, he's like, shit is getting real, and, like, we're about to pull up on Electric Avenue and, like, you know, fight for our rights. I'm being silly, but like seriously. And so, but it has this upbeat tempo. Like you would hear it on like Kiss 108 or Magic 106.7. Like it's very easy to overlook the revolutionary tint of it all. So yeah, that's the story. I just love having synchronistic moments like that. For me to hear that song in Brixton after learning the history of the street feels special. The fact that like the lights that are an essential part of the street, the reason why it was renamed was possible because of a black man's invention. I just think that's dope. Anyway, that's the story.
Can't get food for the kid. Good God, we gonna rock on to Electric Avenue.